What's going on, people? So, video number 3. So I'm past the halfway point. So that's cool, because I tell you, man, doing these little marathon type sessions or whatever, it's a great way to knock things out, but it's a lot of talking, and I'm not a huge fan of that piece of it. Either way, side of the box and whatnot down there, right? So you kind of get some sort of idea of what we're about to talk about in case you somehow missed the thumbnail and the title or whatever. Maybe that happens. I don't see how, but maybe. So there you go. There's that. Now let's jump on into it. This right here is the Nike ReactX Pegasus Trail 5 in the South Kaibab Trail colorway. It does not say that on the side of the box, right? It says something else, but I'll get into that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and jump on into some things here. I'm going to try to breeze through this, but give you the highlights that actually matter for this particular release. We'll see how it happens. Across the bottom, what are you looking at down there? Well, you're looking at what you would normally see on any other sort of trail shoe, right? So it's going to have some extra durability going on down there. That's where the all-terrain compound, the ATC stuff, comes in, right? So like I was saying before about some other shoe, everybody has their own naming and branding or whatever for stuff, but it basically translates into resistance to like various materials and stability, well, more so traction than stability, I guess. But I guess they kind of go hand in hand. So there you go. AHAR from the Asics. That's what I was thinking of. Or the Continental Rubber from the Ultra Boost. Same thing, just a different name. Midsole, right? Up here, what you're looking at, there's a lot of stuff happening in here, which is kind of cool. I'll come back to that in just a second. Actually, no, we'll just cover it now. But yeah, so giving you some extra pictures in here. You're noticing all this purple, these little speckles. The speckles are supposed to be kind of like representative of the different colored dirt out there in this trail, because this is based off of a trail from the Grand Canyon, right? The South Kaibab. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I feel as I say it out loud that it's wrong. But either way, they're based off of that trail. So that's cool, right? So that's where that comes in. And then the purples that you see are based off of the cactuses that are out there. I guess the little flowers that appear on them, because for the most part, cactuses are green, right? And then past that, you do have, well, you don't have any blues down there, but you'll see some blues later, and those blues are basically for a lake that apparently used to exist. So there's that for you. But otherwise, midsole-wise, this is going to be the ReactX. If you look on the inside, or you saw that picture already, maybe, that's what that's talking about, right? So to give you a little background history in case you're curious, when it comes to like the foam situations, right, they had two methods, Nike did. There was the injected foams, which was cheap, right, which is good, but it wasn't as comfortable and the functionality wasn't quite there as far as like how people felt about it. But they also had the molded foam, which was super good, you know, by functionality standards and comfort standards, sure. But it left a lot of extra waste, and like now people are trying to like not make so much extra waste. I get it, right? So this ReactX thing is supposed to split the difference and leave everybody happy. Give you something that your feet are into and something that isn't wasteful for the planet. So there is that. How's it working out? I don't know. Didn't really care to ask. So moving on, getting you some extra pictures in here to show you like the rest of the upper and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, right? Little switch ups of the colors and all that stuff, some different things on the tops of the tongues, and you know, the stitching pattern in the shoes, right? Yeah, it's a fair amount to take in, but we're going to cover some of it, not super deep, because again, much like everything else here, a little bit older, so it's not a whole lot of reason to talk about it, I don't think, in my opinion. Now, moving on though. The upper of this material here, the material of this upper, I guess I should say, if you want to sound like I'm not an idiot, this is going to be more of a mesh sort of situation. The last two I talked about were Flyknit. This time they didn't do that, which kind of makes sense. It's a little more durable. Also, they were able to go in here and wherever it made sense, make things a little tighter, and some areas a little looser, some areas a little more breathable, because of just how shoes are when you wear them. It just makes sense to do that. So I guess maybe that was one of the advantages to going with the mesh route. But past that, as you scroll through on the sides and whatnot, you just have like a whole lot of colors, a whole lot of netting looking things and stuff going on. It's kind of an interesting design. I do really like the colors that they had on here. I wanted these for a while, so seeing them in hand, it's pretty nice that they lived up to the pictures. That little cactus guy going on the back over there. He's hanging out just below this little pull tab thing on the back that I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know, it just seems a little weird to me the way they did it, but it's not a complaint or anything. Jumping back over to the front where the laces are, standard laces with the little speckles and stuff in there. Nice material behind that mesh wise. Then as you get to the top of the tongue though, the top of the tongue is a little different on each one, right? So on this one, the right one, the pink one, it says like Pegasus Trail 5 probably. But then when you look at the other one has an inscription, not an inscription, but like a description, I guess you could say, of how the trails are shaped out there, right? Since this is based off of that trail out there in the Grand Canyon, supposedly that's what it does. It just kind of kicks back every so often. But it's got a nice purple to it, so I do like that. And on the side, I didn't really say much about it, but you do have the fly wire down there, which means when you tighten that, it tightens that whole area of the shoe, right? So it's kind of a good thing to get your feet locked in there. Now, on the inside, one last thing in there. The sock liners are a little different. You can't really see this one because of, well, you'll see it because there's a picture, but I have that tag in there. So the sock liner has little details and stuff based off of the trail itself. I've never been there, probably won't ever go there, but if you've been there, let me know. Is that accurate? Is this donkey there? Is this sign there? I don't know. You can tell me. But past that, I think that kind of covers everything, right? So I'm going to move on, hit the personal thoughts piece, and then sizing. Personally, like I said like moments ago, these right here, like when I saw the pictures online, I thought, that's cool. Like I need some new trail shoes, and this is a trail shoe, and they have all kinds of colors in them, and they're on sale. Yeah, well, I waited for the sale, but initially they caught my attention months ago. But then I saw them being on sale. I'm like, well, let's do that. Unfortunately, that also meant that it was like a big sale time, and so that's when like all the stuff I wanted happened to go on sale, which is why I'm doing 4 reviews today. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So getting these in hand, looking over them and all that stuff, I was pretty into it, right? I like that they came out exactly as I expected. But then looking at some of the details and reading about some of the stuff, like they were even more intriguing. So I'm actually like, really happy with these as it is. And I'm thinking they'll be fine because again, most trail shoes are. These have the same style as like the past ones. So I can't really say on anything right now concrete wise about them. But I'm pretty sure it's going to work out just fine. So that's cool. If not, I mean, you'll probably hear something later. But I did really like the Trail 3s that I got. So, I mean, they were my shoe of the year that year, right? So, I don't know if these will be that same ending or whatever, but I'm thinking good stuff. We'll see. So anyways, past all that, right, as far as like the personal thoughts and whatnot, I guess I'll get into the sizing because that's the last part, right? Sizing wise, I bought these in a 9.5 and it's working out as I expected it to, right? They feel to me like a lot of the other trail shoes, the Pegasus Trail shoes. So if you have a pair of those, maybe just do the same thing, right? So you got that happening. It's pretty cool, right? Sizing wise, of course. And the mesh that they have in here is going to be pretty breathable, so I had no complaints with that. I didn't know if it would be different than the Flyknit, but no, they both styles felt pretty good. Walking around in these, right, you may have noticed that on the bottom there's some extra thick bottoms down there because again it's a trail shoe. I'm not a huge fan of wearing these just casually because under the forefoot you do feel that. Is it a deal breaker? It is not. It's just a personal preference thing that I would rather leave these on the trails because that's what they were made to do, and outside of the trails they can feel a little weird. Running wise, not a big deal. They're made for running on both, so you can make a seamless transition. So I would say don't think too much about that, right? But if you're just wearing these casually, again, like when I'm going to work, I'm not going with these unless I'm going straight to the trails afterwards. That's just what I'm saying. But past that, like the actual foam and stuff in here, it feels really good. It's not like super bouncy. It's got a nice stability sort of feel to it. So I do really like that. I would imagine like the standard Pegasus shoes are probably the same way. So if you're thinking about these, but you're kind of thinking about something else, maybe try the standard Pegasus the standard Pegasus shoe. That'll probably be your better option if you're not going to be outdoors like out in the woods or trails and such like that. I don't know what the price difference is though, so you'll have to figure that out on your own time. But otherwise, everything about these, walking around in them here, I felt really good about it. I liked everything that they're doing. So I'm not trying to oversell it or whatever. I'm just telling you that for me, this played out just fine. I'm looking forward to getting these on some trails whenever that happens. So we'll see. We'll see when that is, because again, there's only so many days left in this month, and then September is boost month for me because that's the thing that I do. Either way, past that, one thing that I am going to throw out here just as a random fact, because it's something I thought about moments ago. Up until I got these, I actually had more Nike trail running shoes than standard running shoes, which is weird. I think the numbers might be even now, or at least closer, hopefully. Well, yeah, they're definitely closer now, but yeah, crazy, right? So either way, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. I'm gonna talk about these things are freaking heavy. God, Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about these now. Later, people.